Now, Scott Morrison was just talking about people walking on eggshells. And I said earlier, I think that that's the right word to use. People understand that more than censorship or cancel culture. And he was saying yesterday, people are sick of walking on eggshells. Well, here's another example of it. Because this came out of last night's leaders' debate. The Prime Minister is copping some heat from some for what appeared to be an innocent remark. He was asked about the future of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. A lady in the audience, Catherine, had a question about her son Ethan, who has autism. And this is how the PM replied.
Jenny and I have been blessed. We've got two children that haven't had to go through that. And so for parents with children who are disabled, I can only try and understand your aspirations for those children. And I think that is the beauty of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. And I pay credit to Julia Gillard, who initiated this when she was Prime Minister.
I thought it was a reasonable answer, paying credit to Julia Gillard, the Labor Prime Minister who brought in the NDIS. So what was the problem with it? Well, it was this first part of the answer.
Jenny and I have been blessed. We've got two children that haven't had to go through that.
Jenny and I have been blessed. We've got two children who haven't had to go through that. What's wrong with that? Well, in my eyes, absolutely nothing. But according to the Shadow Minister, Bill Shorten, he says ScoMo says he's blessed to have two non-disabled children. Every child is a blessing. Well, obviously. What do you think he was suggesting, that there are two classes of children? Those who have got these kind of struggles and those who don't? Christina Keneally jumped in saying, unbelievably, Scott Morrison has just said he was blessed not to have a child with a disability. Well, overnight we've been contacted by the Liberal Senator Holly Hughes. Holly Hughes has a son, Fred, who has autism. She wanted to share her thoughts and she's on the line. The Liberal Senator Holly Hughes, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
Good. What do you make of the criticism from the likes of Bill Shorten and Christina Keneally?
I mean, it is seriously just missing the point. I mean, I cannot believe that this is what they want to focus on. We know with the NDIS, and we know we've just put out a 400-page report into the whole of life experience with people with autism. There's lots and lots of stuff we need to do. But the Prime Minister using the words, Jenny and I were blessed, you know what? They were blessed. They tried for 14 years to have children, and they're blessed with two beautiful daughters. I'm blessed with three beautiful children. But I can tell you, when there were times when my son was young, any autism parent will tell you this, particularly those that have children at the more severe end of the spectrum, there are plenty of behaviours that go on, whether they're absconding, there's lots of different types of smearing that goes on. There's other sorts of challenges. And I can tell you in those moments, you don't feel particularly blessed. You feel like you're working parenting at a master's level, and there's plenty of challenges that go with it.
But also, Senator, I think everyone understood what he was saying. And this is another example of people feeling like they're walking on eggshells when they're just trying to have a normal conversation.
Oh, look, absolutely. And as I said, I've got three children. I've got one with autism. There's one with autism bring me absolute unbelievable joy that you cannot imagine. But there were days that I did not feel particularly blessed. I can tell you, Ben, I felt like I was parenting at an absolute master's level. And what is going on? And, my son's now 12. We're in high school. But I go and visit a lot of early intervention clinics. And I can tell you, I walk out of them and I actually don't know how we did it. I don't know how we did it, because it's almost like a level of PTSD that comes back, and I'm going to get attacked for this. But, it was hard in those early days.
No, I'm not sure it was. And I know we've spoken about Fred before, and it isn't easy for people who are bringing up children who've got those extra challenges, regardless of what those challenges might be. Now, how is Fred?
Oh, praise be, he is asleep still. Can I tell you, there is a joy that comes with almost teenage years, and him inhaling food. He's actually asleep still, which is, happy days. Because, in the early days, he was up at, 4 o'clock in the morning and welcome to the day. And that's not when he's a newborn. That's, 4 years of age, 5 years of age. It is a different kind of parenting. And look, if anyone took anything from that, other than we're not all blessed with our children, yes, we are. And those of us with children know that. And those that struggle to have them understand exactly what he's saying. But if that's what you want to pick up from the Prime Minister, if you want to push this point that somehow he's disregarding the experience or trying to put two classes of children, go away. Stop politicising our experience if you've never been through it. Let me tell you, we have to live at a very different pace than a lot of other people. And there are days, and I'm going to say it, there are days you feel more blessed and days you certainly don't feel too blessed.
Look, I think anyone with any dose of common sense would understand exactly what the PM was saying. And you know what? Why don't we have a yarn next week about the NDIS at large? Because we know that there are estimates that, this is going to be a $60 billion cost by the end of the decade, and it is an important scheme, and well done to Julia Gillard for setting it up. So let's have a yarn about the NDIS at large next week, and thank you so much for joining us, and go and make sure that Fred's still fast asleep.
Oh, God, I'm having coffee in the hope that he's asleep for a bit longer.
Good on you. Holly Hughes, the Liberal Senator, joining us here on Sydney's Best Breakfast at 2GB.